everyone to Checkpoint. Today we are excited that you are here, and we want to thank you for always watching us here on Checkpoint. At Checkpoint we make a lot of messages, pictures, videos, audios that help you to make better decisions in your life. Thank you for the likes, thank you for the comments, thank you for the shares, and because of all of this, the message is going farther and faster, and for this we are truly grateful. Today on Checkpoint we have a very interesting topic, and I'd like you to stay tuned as we watch. Okay, today on Checkpoint, our topic today is the ingredients for a successful marriage. The ingredients for a successful marriage. Somebody don't get put off because I'm not going to bring you any spices and oil and stuff like that, because I'm going to just show you the ingredients, which are basically not tangible ingredients that you need to be able to have a very successful marriage. Marriage, first and foremost, is the most intimate of all human relations, where a male and a female exchange vows and make covenants to live together for the rest of their lives. Alright, so there are many reasons why people go into marriage. There are many reasons why people start marriage in the first place. But we need to understand that marriage, first and foremost, is of God. God made marriage. When he looked at man, he said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him help, meet, suitable, adaptable, complementary to him. God's intention is that marriage be successful. You don't get a successful marriage by wishing, oh, I saw that couple the other day, they look so nice together, I guess my marriage will be like that. Oh, I see this couple, oh, see how they complement each other, I wish my marriage would be like that. That is not how good marriage comes about. That is not how a successful marriage comes about. If you want your marriage to be successful, if you want your marriage to be successful, you have to do all that it takes for it to be successful. There is a role for you to play. Many people say, oh, God will do it, God will do it. God does all things. But can I tell you that God will not do for you what he has given you capacity to do? Let me say it again. God will not do for you what he has given you capacity to do. God has endowed you with the wisdom, ability, tenacity, and experience for you to be able to build a successful marriage. It is up to you to make that decision and build that marriage that will stand the test of time. Alright, so today I'd like to show you the basic ingredients for a successful marriage. Let me start like this. Imagine you're in the kitchen and you want to make a particular kind of soup. Maybe you want to make a chicken soup, or what are the basic ingredients for a chicken soup? The mere fact it is called chicken means that there has to be what? Chicken available in the kitchen. You can manage some other ingredients, but there are some ingredients you can never ever manage. Let's bring it back to our Nigerian palate. Let's talk about our egusi soup. How do you make egusi without egusi? You see, egusi has to be basically there, and then other ingredients have to be around. Imagine you making egusi with groundnut oil. That would be terrible. Yeah, but if you want to make egusi soup, you have to make it what? Red oil. Let's talk about making a jollof rice. Okay, that's like the most popular Nigerian food, a jollof rice. Now, if you want to make jollof rice, number one thing that has to be there is what? The rice itself. Now, with this, what I'm trying to do in essence is to tell you that there are some basic ingredients that you need to make certain foods, and in marriage, the same truth holds. There are basic ingredients that you need in order to have a marriage that is successful. A marriage that is successful is not just a marriage that has children. It's not just a marriage with couples who are rich. It's not just a marriage that with couples who have a big house and stuff like that. No. A successful marriage is a marriage that is lived well. The couples themselves have peace. The children that are raised are godly, and the family entirely is impacting their society. These are the principles for success. These are the parameters by which we can say that this marriage is truly successful. The couple lives together in peace and harmony. They produce children who are godly, and together all of them are able to impact the society. This is our picture of a successful marriage. Alright, so quickly let's get into it. The ingredients to be able to build what? A successful marriage. Number one is the fear of God. I started this ingredient by saying the fear of God is the essential ingredient. If there is no fear of God in marriage, infidelity will occur. If there is no fear of God in marriage, battering will occur. If there is no fear of God in marriage, bitterness, rancor, resentment, and evil will occur. A lot of bad things that stem up in marriage happen because the couples themselves do not have the fear of God. What is the fear of God? The Bible says that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. What is the fear of God? The fear of God is someone knowing that there is a God in heaven who exists. There is a God in heaven who manifests in the affairs of men. There is a God in heaven who is concerned about the things that people do. If you know that there is God in heaven, there are some certain things you won't do in your marriage. If you know that there is God in heaven, you won't abort a pregnancy just because you want to be comfortable in marriage. You won't abort a pregnancy just because you want to be comfortable in marriage when it is not life-threatening. All right? If there is God in heaven, you won't cheat on your spouse. If you know that there is God in heaven, there are certain things you will not be able to do because you know that there is God in heaven. There are certain evils you will not be able to perpetuate in your marriage, in your life, because you know that there is God in heaven. So it's important that you have the fear of God. A man who has the fear of God will make a beautiful husband. A woman who has the fear of God will make an excellent wife. It is important that we marry. Even before we get married, let's look out for people who have what? The fear of God. Don't excuse behaviors. Don't excuse people's attitude and character. Fear of God is essential if you want to have a blossoming marriage. Number 2 ingredient that we want to talk about in order to have a successful marriage is love. Love. When we talk about love, there are several types of love. There is agape love, there is filial love, there is storge love, and there is erotic love. And then in all these kind of loves, what is most important is that you have the agape kind of love, the God kind of love. The erotic kind of love is also essential for you to have a blossoming marriage. But it's important that you have also the agape kind of love, the God kind of love. When you love each other, you won't bring hurt to the person you love. If you love him, you won't slap her, you won't give her wounds on her face, and then still claim that you love her. If you love him, you won't be doing evil things to him, stealing his money, creating problem between him and others, and still say you love him. If you love your spouse, you will do well by him. If you love your spouse, you will do well by her. That's just it. When we talk about love, love is selfless. Love does not consider self. When we talk about love in marriage, it is each other trying to esteem the other person above him or herself. You know, I'm in marriage and then I'm considering my partner much more than I will consider myself. If both partners do this for themselves, you discover that marriage will be a very harmonious place. Before the one can say, honey, give me, it's given. Before the other one can say, honey, help me, the person is already helped because there is what? Love in that marriage. Under love, I'd like to discuss 3 kinds of love. It is called the tender love, the tough love, and the sacrificial love. The tender love, the tough love, and the sacrificial love. Let's start with the tender love. The tender love is the kind of love that makes you feel nice, makes you feel butterflies in your tummy, makes you feel okay, feel good. And then that kind of love takes care of you, pampers you, makes you feel like you're the only woman and only man here on earth. It's good, beautiful for marriage. There's a second kind of love called the tough love. In the tough love, it's still love, but most times its manifestation looks tough. Like when you insist that your spouse has to go to the hospital to check out a particular thing in his or her body for the benefit of his health, okay? To conduct a test, maybe a malaria test or a typhoid test or any test to make sure that he gets better. Tough love is that kind of love that makes you to give somebody who does not like pills in order for the person to get better. Tough love is the kind of love that makes you insist on what is right despite the fact that the person is not comfortable to do it. It is tough love that will make you to drag your wife out of the house and say, come, let's go and exercise. It is tough love that will make you to tell your husband, oh, keep up with the press up. Oh, it's not complete. Keep up with the crunches. Oh, it's not complete because this your tummy has to go in. That's tough love. Let's talk about sacrificial love. Sacrificial love is the love that makes you give all in order for the other person to be okay. Sacrificial love comes from the word sacrifice. That ability to give even that which you do not have, even that which is difficult to give. All right? When we talk about sacrificial love, tough love, and tender love. These are the different manifestations of love that should be in your marriage. If your marriage consists only of tender love and there is no tough love, there is no sacrificial love, something is wrong somewhere. If your marriage consists of only tough love and there is no tender love, that toughness might lead to roughness in marriage. All right, so it's important that a blend of these three kinds of love is what will make your marriage very, very sweet and harmonious and blossoming. Like we are saying, well, our topic is what? The ingredients for a successful marriage. All right, let's talk about number 3 ingredient. Are you ready for this? Number 3 ingredient is what we call communication. Number 3 ingredient is what we call communication. When we talk about communication, we have verbal communication, we have non-verbal communication, and communication is not complete until there is feedback. So there is the messenger, there is the message, there is the person that is receiving the message, the recipient, and then there is feedback, understanding, and there is feedback. If the person is not able to understand, the person will not be able to give feedback. And now there's verbal communication in marriage, and there is non-verbal communication in marriage. In non-verbal, you make good use of your body language. Maybe you keep a face like this and you ask what's wrong with you. I say, I'm feeling sad, I'm not feeling well, and stuff like that. So it's important that you know that in marriage there is both verbal and non-verbal communication. And communication is the life of every relationship. If every relationship must stand, if every relationship must blossom, if every marriage must be successful, communication is key. A lot of people have issues with communication because they are not able to communicate. Misunderstanding becomes the order of the day. But you cannot afford to have a marriage that is full of misunderstanding. You need to learn how to communicate, when to communicate, and then the words with which you communicate. There are times you want to say something, but the way you are saying it, you're not saying it in a nice way. All right, give me that spoon, and please give me that spoon can never be the same thing. Who is that and who is there can never be the same thing. So it's important that you understand even the tone of your voice is essential when it comes to verbal communication. When you're giving a verbal communication, both the tone of your voice, your attitude, your gesture, your poses, what the things you do also help to portray the message you are trying to give out. If you say I love you and you're not looking, you are not smiling, you are saying it nonchalantly and walking your way, that I love you will not have the same impact and the same meaning when you say it when you're holding your spouse, looking into their eyes and giving a smile and maybe touching their head or ear or nose or whatever it is. But it's important that you communicate well. A lot of people have issues because they do not know how to communicate. But when you communicate well, like I said, it is the lifeblood of every relationship. All right, let's go to number 4 ingredient for you to be able to have a successful marriage. Number 4 is tolerance and sacrifice. Tolerance and sacrifice. You see, my husband would always use a very funny anecdote when he wants to explain conflict in marriage. He will say that have you not beaten your tongue before? That the teeth and the tongue are both inside the mouth, and in as much as they are always dwelling there together, most times the tongue finds itself being beaten by the teeth. And now he says, the one that is most fun, he said, will you use the hammer and begin to knock off all your teeth because the teeth mistakenly beat the tongue? The answer to that is clear. Everyone will say no. No, you don't knock off your teeth because your teeth beat your tongue. You endure. After a while, even though the tongue has some wound on it, has pain on it, after a while, it heals and both of them continue their harmonious relationship. Husband and wives are meant to be like that. That's why the Bible makes us understand that God hates divorce. The reason why God hates divorce is because harmony is better than discord. Peace is better than war. That is why he hates it. He wants godly children to be produced from your relationship. And because of that, if there should be harmony, if there should be love, if there should be tolerance and sacrifice, it means that then with all of this, there will be a good marriage. Tolerance is essential. Why do you need tolerance? Both of you are coming from 2 different backgrounds. Both of you are coming from 2 different families. Both of you have different temperaments. Both of you have different experiences in life. And because of that, you will be different. And there are times that both of you may not be able to share the same kind of perspective on issues. There are times you may not be able to agree on certain issues. That is where tolerance comes to play. There are attitudes and habits and characters that were not even seen before you got married. And at the moment you got married, those things were unveiled. Couples who did it right, who did not have to sleep together or live together before they got married, will certainly have things that they will begin to see and explore when they eventually get married. They'll be like, I didn't know he was like this. Oh, I didn't know she had this bad habit. Oh, I didn't know he could snore. Oh, I didn't know she farts like this whenever she sleeps. There are different things that come up when you eventually get married. And then when you begin to see these things, tolerance and sacrifice are the major two ingredients that play roles in this kind of situation and makes it to have a successful marriage regardless of the flaws and the issues that both of you present in your lives. Alright, let's talk about number 5. Number 5 ingredient for a successful marriage is admiration and appreciation. Admiration and appreciation might sound alike, but they are not the same thing. In admiration, you admire the person, for what the person has, for what the person is, and for how the person looks. Alright? In appreciation, you thank the person for what the person is, for what the person has done. Okay? So in admiration, you admire. In appreciation, is just you appreciate what the person is doing. In marriage, it is essential. It is a basic ingredient. It's like the salt in your soup. It's like the spices inside your jollof rice. It's very, very important in order to make your marriage successful. You have to admire your husband. You have to admire your wife. Let me tell you, if you're not admiring your wife, some men are out there admiring how. You better admire what you have. If you're not admiring your husband, some women are out there admiring him and praying that something happens, that he becomes available for them. So you better learn how to admire your spouse and how to appreciate them. Learn to say thank you for every little thing. And can I tell you, thank you does not remove your dignity. Thank you does not remove who you are. It does not remove anything from your status. It's important that you appreciate and you admire this person who has made up his or her mind to spend the rest of their life with you. You want your marriage to be successful, right? Say thank you. Say you look good. Say you look beautiful. How will your wife make a new hair? And she has been walking up and down the room so aimlessly so that you can admire her. And she's talking to you and you are busy. Your face is buried in your magazine, or your face is buried in your newspaper, or in the modern days now, your face is buried inside your phone. You are pressing from one social media, jumping to the other one, and then she'll pick up something in the room and drop it on the floor and pick up another thing, and she's just trying to get your attention so you get to notice the new hair she just made. And you can't even open your mouth to say, oh, you look beautiful. That is an error, a very strategic error. As old as I am, if you see how I still blush whenever Papa gets to admire my new hair, admire one thing I'm putting on, and no matter how old the woman is, even if it's a 96-year-old grandma, just tell her, Mama, you look beautiful. You will see the way smile resonates in that old and wrinkled face, and you wonder and learn that this thing is something that every woman loves to hear. Alright, admire your wife, admire your husband, and appreciate your husband. A lot of women are ungrateful. I've seen women in modern days call their husbands my ATM. How on earth is this love of your life an ATM machine? ATM will just dispense money, and if ATM never dashes somebody money the person never works for. But I'm sure your husband gives you money even when you don't deserve it. He gives you money when you don't even earn it. He gives you his own money. ATM will not give you his own money. ATM will certainly give you the money, exact money you deposited in the bank. As a matter of fact, if you have nothing in the bank, it's just speak one English for you. Your money is unavailable, at zero account, and then return your card to you empty. So stop calling your spouse your ATM. He's not your ATM. She's not your ATM. They are the love of your life. Appreciate them for who they are. Let everyone around you know that this person is the best thing that has happened to you in life. Admire them. Appreciate them. A lot of people fall into error in marriage, fall into infidelity, because the person that are with them in marriage are not even appreciating them. And oh my, these sons of Belial and daughters of Jezebel, they have sweet tongue. They know exactly how to wrap it and what to say. They know what to say to turn the brain of a man. They know what to say to turn the brain of any woman. So please, they are out there. They are out there everywhere, chatting your spouses on Facebook, on social media, telling them all the words you forgot to tell them. So please appreciate them. Please appreciate and admire the spouse that you got married to. All right, let's talk about another ingredient that is essential for you to have a successful marriage. That is the ingredient called forgiveness. Forgiveness. Marriage is made up of two good forgivers. Marriage is a union of two good forgivers. If you want to have a successful marriage, you must learn how to become a forgiver. You must forgive in advance. That's what my husband calls advanced forgiveness. Forgiveness, a kind of forgiveness you give even before the person has offended you. In marriage, there will certainly be offense. Anybody, any human being whatsoever that is claiming that he or she has a marriage that is without offense at all, at any time, two things will be the case. One, the person is lying. Or two, the person married a zombie. Those are the only two justifiable reasons why a marriage will not have offense. As long as there are two people in one house who come from different backgrounds, who have different perspectives, who have brains of their own, oh my, there would always be offense. But then, what are we talking about? Forgiveness is the panacea. So it's important that you are able to use forgiveness and then wipe away the multitude of offense. There would always be offense. Even within the mouth and the tongue, like we said before, the tongue and even between the tongue and the teeth, like we said before, there would always be conflict. Alright? And when it happens, please learn to forgive. Forgive in advance. And like the person who asked Jesus, how many times will I have to forgive? Forgive as many times as possible. 70 times 7. And if you are able to keep record of 70 times 7, oh my, you are not normal. So please don't keep record of offenses. That's how you don't get to the point of 490 to be able to calculate it. Alright, so please forgive, and forgive. And when you forgive, don't use that same issue to judge the person. Don't use that same issue to keep reminding the person. Remember that you also were forgiven. And you may not have been forgiven by her, but you were forgiven by God. Each one of us came in sin, but Christ forgave us. Ephesians 4 verse 32 says, please forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake forgave you. God forgave us because of Christ. And because of Christ, we have to forgive our spouses. Alright, another ingredient that is essential for a successful marriage. Number 7 ingredient is called protection. Protection. Your spouse needs protection. Protection from people, protection from problems, protection from in-laws, protection from adversaries, protection from the sons of Belial, protection from the daughters of Jezebel. Protection from sexual predators. It's important that you protect your spouse. And there are several ways through which you can protect your spouse. Protect them from family pressure. There are times that the family are making too much demands that are not healthy for your marriage. Please protect your spouse. It's possible that they think that all is well with you. Maybe you are in Abuja, you are abroad, and they think that because you're in abroad or in Abuja, that things are just well for you, that you have money flowing everywhere. That because Aso Rock is close to your house, then money was flowing from Aso Rock into your account. It is not like that. Protect them from family pressure. The pressure may be real and much, but then it is important that you help bridge the gap. Let them know, calm down, don't worry, everything is going to be fine. Protect your spouse from sexual predators. They are hovering everywhere, looking for who to devour, looking for spouses to snatch and for marriages to tear apart. But you have to protect your spouse. Let them know that this one belongs to you. Fight for this person in prayer. Protect him in prayer. Protect her in prayer. Protect her by principles, by the kind of life that you also live. It's important that you protect your spouse from your sisters and protect your spouse from your brothers. A lot of sisters-in-laws and brothers-in-laws have been the Achilles heels of a lot of marriages. So please, it's important that you protect your spouse. Make them feel comfortable. Don't discuss them in bad light with any member of your family. Don't discuss them in bad light with your friends. Protect your spouse. Protect their secrets. Protect their weaknesses. Their weaknesses shouldn't be known by others. Their weaknesses shouldn't be a topic of discussion with anybody whatsoever. Protect their weaknesses. Protect their pain. protect their issues, protect their problems, all right? Because both of you are in that marriage together. If you want to have a successful marriage, you must be a protector. Say it with me. I must be a protector. Yeah, if you want to have a successful marriage, you must be a protector. Protect them in several ways. Protect them spiritually, physically, socially, mentally. Sometimes they are worried deep about a lot of things. Help protect them by reminding them that God of yesterday is still God today, and that no matter what problem they are going through, they would always come above it. Protect your wife from wicked mother-in-laws, all right? Protect them from wicked sister-in-laws. Protect them from accusations. A lot of people say, oh, your wife has not given birth to children. It was good that she has finished aborting all the children in her womb. Please protect your wife from such things. Don't discuss them. Don't discuss it with them. Please, it's important that you know that not all mother-in-laws are wicked. I have an excellent, beautiful, wonderful, most scary mother-in-law. All right? So, and then I'm at peace. And then I just feel like someone who has two living mothers. I feel so good having both of them by my side. But it's important that you also understand that there are some mother-in-laws who are at the extreme. And please protect your spouse from them. I don't mean that you should cut them off. I don't mean that you should not relate with them, but protect them. While you are with them, make sure that nothing happens that makes your spouse the topic of discussion. Because the truth of the matter is this: it is possible they will forgive you for whatever you do against them, but they will never forgive your spouse. Always look at your spouse from that line. That is why when they have weaknesses, they have faults, they have mistakes they have done, protect these their mistakes, protect these their faults, protect these their flaws, and don't discuss it with your family, because when you do, by the time the person has repented, the family will never still forget what they have already believed about this person. So it's important that you protect. Number 8 ingredient for you to have a very successful marriage, that you need to have common interest. Have common interest. Imagine a couple who have no common interest to discuss, no place where they agree on common things, they play on common things, they discuss on common things, they commune on common things. There's going to be a problem. That is why we always tell somebody, before you get married, discover your vision. When you discover your vision and you marry somebody whose vision is in line with your vision, what happens is that both of you have common interests, and you're able to put your hands together and fight whatever battle that comes through your life. Enjoy your common interest. If you have hobbies, please look for hobbies that both of you will like together. Look for games that both of you can play together. Look for things that both of you can discuss together. Look for things that both of you can do together. A couple that stays together lives together. Alright, it's important that you understand that there is need for common interest, common ground, where both of you feel like you are together in something. Don't have different lives apart, because the more you begin to grow apart, the more you begin to leave a vacuum open. And when that vacuum is there, the devil will always know how to maximize vacuums in marriage to destroy it. So please have very common interests and do things together. Wear clothes together. Do games together. Alright, so with all the modern technology and civilization, God's word is still our standard. God's word will still remain. So it's very, very key, very, very important that we as married ones should hold these things together, have good sexual intimacy. A lot of I've been in counseling, and I've seen couples complain about, oh, we slept last so months, we slept last so year. So for some couples, it's been many years, and I begin to wonder, what is the problem? And most people like this are people who kept sleeping together when they were not married, and now that they are married, that they have a full license and certificate from God to do whatever they want to do, then they stop. And it's important that we know this. Why do we always see people who are not yet married, who have issues in their relationship, and then one is battered and shattered, and that one still feels like, I still need to make this work? It is because they have had what we call a soul tie. A soul tie is a product of what? Sexual intimacy. When people who are not married begin to have sexual intimacy and they are not yet married, it becomes difficult for them to see flaws. It becomes difficult for them to make the right decisions in their marriage. And such people end up getting married. And when they get married, the problem continues. They begin to have different kind of issues, which may ultimately lead to divorce because they did not do what they were supposed to do. Now, in marriage, when couples sleep together often, it helps them not to see all the flaws, not to see all the errors. It helps them to harmonize together. It helps them to come into harmony, to come into unity, to always understand themselves. This is a divine mechanism, a divine technology by God in order to keep married couples together. And when you do not engage in sexual intimacy as often as you should, problems begin to abound, tension begins to arise, and then there are misunderstandings, then there are issues and different things that come with it. So it is important that if you are married, enjoy your sexual intimacy. Sex is not evil. Sex is of God. God produced and manufactured these are sexual organs and gave them to us as a gift. It is unfortunate that it has been abused, but the fact that it has been abused doesn't mean that it is no longer good. Drugs are given for treatment of people who are sick, but when people abuse drugs, does it mean that drugs are no longer good? So this will help you to understand that sex is not a bad thing, even though it has been used so much in negative light. Sex is of God. God ordained sex for only married couples, and if it is held within that sanctity of marriage, then it becomes God's will for you. So it's important that it is frequent. The more frequent it is, the more easy it is to lubricate the engine of your marriage. The more easy it is to lubricate the communication, the love that you have in your marriage. Frequent sexual intimacy in marriage is key, and it helps to make conflict to be low. It reduces tension. It makes disagreement very, very low between married couples. So I want to encourage you, if you are married, please be frequent as you can. There is no excess, there is no overdose. Trust me when I say it. All right. Then finally, on ingredients for a successful marriage is prayers. If you don't pray, you will become a prey. If you don't pray, your marriage will become a prey for the devil. It's important that you engage prayers in your marriage. A couple that prays together stays together. Prayers are essential if you want to have a very harmonious marriage. If you want to have a very successful marriage, engage in prayers. A couple should learn to pray together. They should pray against the forces of darkness against their marriage. They should pray against enemies who don't want their marriage to stand. They should pray against satanic devices that will not want their marriage to be glorious. They should pray for the unity of their marriage. They should pray for the progress of their marriage. They should pray for love. They should pray for tolerance. They should pray for understanding. They should pray for the fear of God. There are several things to pray for in marriage. They should pray for their children, that their children will become living examples of righteousness, that they will become godly examples for other children to follow, that their kids will become living examples that will show others the light of salvation, that they should pray for several things. They should even pray for the spouses their children will marry in the future, because there are spouses that come into your life and they'll cause you a lot of heartache. The wife that Esau married caused a lot of pain to his parents. So it's important that couples learn to pray. Pray for your now, pray for your future. Even pray for your past, that what happened in the past will not reoccur in your present or in your future. There are several things couples have to pray about. If you pray together, you stay together. If you refuse to pray, you become a prey to the devil. There are predators everywhere, hanging around, lurking around, in order to make sure that the marriage does not work. And I want to help you understand, because marriage is an adoration and a replica of the relationship that Christ has with the church. This relationship makes the devil mad whenever he sees couples working, because couples everywhere replicate, show that Christ has a love for the church, and this is how it should be, and he does everything to make that picture never work. When you get angry with somebody, what do you usually do? Don't you tear the person's picture? When the devil gets angry with God, what does he do? He begins to destroy marriages. And that is why we see a lot of marriages on the verge of collapse. We see a lot of marriages collapsing actually. Even the marriages of Christians and pastors are not spared. You see, even pastors and Christians and believers who love God and fear God even end up having terrible broken homes and marriages. And these things end up affecting the children. So there are a lot of things to pray for. Pray that your marriage does not disintegrate. Pray that the love that you have will be stronger than any attack that comes into your marriage. Understand that as a couple, that it is two of you together against the world, not two of you against each other. The real enemy is the devil, and we should do everything we can to contend in battle spiritually against it. Remember, Billy Graham said that we have not been called to a playground, we have been called to a battleground. As you pray for your marriage, may every prayer that you have prayed from your heart concerning your marriage come to pass in the name of Jesus. Amen. All right, this is where we end it today on Checkpoint. Thank you for listening to us on the 10 ingredients for a successful marriage. I'm sure that you begin to add these ingredients to your marriage one after the other, and you begin to see a whole lot of change and blessings in your marriage. Your marriage will be successful. I decree it over your life, and so shall it be in Jesus' name. Amen. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Cheers. Remember, we said keep liking our videos, keep commenting, and keep sharing it. Let everyone know that this message will bless their lives so much. I love you. Cheers.